Now, when we're writing out terms of sequences, we can have some rather funky looking sequences. In other words, we don't always have to have a sub n equals whatever. We could have f of n, which again is perfectly reasonable. Even when we have a sub n, the a sub n tends to work an awful lot as though we had like f of x. So we should not be too surprised by this. Again, we could easily have just written this as f of x equals negative 2 to the power of x minus 1. So over here we're just going to use f of n and n minus 1. Now, the way that we go about writing out the terms in our sequence here is, again, we're going to put in different values for n, and we'll start with 1. So we'll go f of 1, and this will be the first term in our sequence, and we'll go ahead and plug in the negative 2, and then 1 minus 1, and then do the math. So that's 0 power, so that'll just be 1. So that guy will be called the first term. And I just wanted to point out that we can have n be an exponent. In this case it is. So in this case, the first term is this number 1, but it's also f of 1. And again, I'm going to remind you, it could also have been called a sub n or a sub 1 in this particular case. All right, so let's keep it going. Let me go ahead and get rid of these extra circles. And let's try a couple more. So f of 2 equals negative 2 to the power of 2 minus 1. And you're going to see something interesting here. In this case, we say 2 minus 1 gets us 1. Negative 2 to the power of 1 gets us negative 2. So the thing that's kind of interesting here is we start, our first term in our sequence is positive 1, and our second one is a negative number. So positive number and then negative number. And that is possible due to the fact that we have our base is a negative number, and we have an exponent that's being applied, and it's sometimes an odd number and sometimes an even number. So anyways, let's write a couple more. First, we'll label this guy as our second term. And again, negative 2 is the second term, but f of 2 is the second term also. And we could have referred to it as a sub 2. That would be perfectly reasonable as well. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. And let's go ahead and write our third term. So f of 3 equals negative 2 is the base, raised to the power of 3 minus 1. So 3 minus 1, that'll get us 2. Negative 2 squared is going to be a positive number, so that'll be 4. So positive, negative, positive, perfectly reasonable. And that we'll call our third term. And again, just to be perfectly clear, so you get used to this, this guy's referred to as the third term, and this guy is referred to as the third term, and we might just call it a sub 3, which also means the third term. All right. I'm good with this example.